The Measure of a Man. The story of a father, a son, and a suit. A man's first duty is to his tailor. Oscar Wilde. You may be wondering at this point, especially if you've ever followed a Berta or Vogue or McCall's pattern, or were forced to make a sweatshirt in home economics, if I am really up to the job of altering my father's suit. Sewing garments is hard. It requires a certain temperament, but coat making is an even more exclusive arena of clothes making. In my opinion, it is the summit of all arts involving a needle and thread. Great coat making doesn't happen with a computer and a laser cutter. It doesn't take place in a factory in Shenzhen. It takes place in a tailor shop. In the shop, working from the front, is a tailor known as the cutter. In the past, because of the intimacy required to do the job, the cutter had traditionally been a man, especially if the clientele base was male. The cutter will measure the customer and offer nuggets of sartorial knowledge that will stay with the suit shopper for the rest of their life. If a cutter lays down a law like, "This blue will always look better, more rich, more elegant with brown shoes," well, the pupil will never again be able to bring themselves to lace on a pair of black shoes with that particular shade of blue. If a cutter tells a height-challenged client that shortening his coat sleeves to reveal a half-inch of shirt cuff instead of the traditional quarter-inch of shirt cuff, and that this extra special half-inch will do wonders in providing the illusion of greater length, well, only the very strong-willed will be able to resist the urge to alter the sleeves on all their suits. The cutter is the one you call my tailor, like the way people say my guy. The cutter measures you, the cutter pins you up, the cutter takes all the notes for the special little details you have to have. The cutter is the one who chats you up while you are peeling off your pants. The cutter is the one you see walking around the shop carrying 2-foot-long scissors. This is all very impressive. But it is the coat maker who really swings the big brass ones in a tailor's workshop. The coat maker does the sewing. The coat maker is the one who works over every inch of your jacket, and just the jacket. The pants may go elsewhere to another tailor, but the coat maker is working with steam and probing fingertips and little tentative pricks of the thread. He may even beat your suit with a hunk of wood called a clapper to give your garment the right shape, the internal life, the sheer finished perfection you thought only fictional characters like Bruce Wayne and James Bond could possess. Coat maker. There is no tailor shop without one. But the life isn't easy. Sometimes a price is exacted. In the 19th century, medical experts worried coat makers were susceptible to work-related aneurysms. Eye strain and repetitive stress injuries are part of the job. Do 10,000 stitches per coat every 2 days, 6 days a week for 45 years, and you may end up lonely, misanthropic, incapable of carrying on a conversation. Tailoring is not for everyone. But I think it might be fine for me. I'm at loose ends. My dreams of a career as a hard-hitting journalist are dead in the water. I've developed a reputation for being light. I'm the guy who writes about fashion and design. The chances that I will cover wars, politics, crime, and anonymous government leaks are nil. And the last time I checked, there are no Pulitzers or Peabodys awarded for exposés on spring-summer collections. Look, I accept it. I believe fashion matters. It matters to people not because they care what someone in Paris or New York has to say about what they should wear next season. And it doesn't matter to people because for some reason they believe what models and Hollywood stars wear is vital to their happiness. No. Fashion matters because every day people get up in the morning and with the palette of clothes they find in their closets and dressers, they attempt to create a visual poem about a part of themselves, the part they wish to share with the world. That's what fashion has always meant to me. And then there's the shop to consider. I mean, long after they made me my first made-to-measure suit, the gray flannel, I found myself visiting modernized tailors and hanging out with Bill, with his younger brother Jack, with Park Wong, who's the cousin and the coat maker, and Laddie, who makes the pants. I went there to be around, especially Bill. Still do. When I walk into the shop, I feel I am at home in a way I haven't felt, in a long time. I like the way the day passes, the solace and the peace. I'm fascinated by how slowly, without anxiety, the tailors create jackets and pants. With them, I can almost believe I've found my place in the world. And I love watching Bill work with the customers. He lavishes them with care and attention. And the customers respect him and take his advice with acceptance and gratitude. Bill makes everyone feel like they're $1,000,000. I watch him and I'm thinking, that could be me. And I love the whole master and apprentice deal. I mean, I've had bosses, I've had editors. I was raised to address men and women of any age as sir and ma'am or miss or ms. But to call someone your master is very Jedi counsel. And Bill deserves the title, master. Bill's hands are gnarled with arthritis. His intelligent eyes are set in a broad face, but they show signs of cataract. Yet he can still do the work. Don't let the Coke bottle glasses or the thin, wispy white hairs on the top of his head fool you. This man has a heavy, lobster claw-like thumbnail, which he uses to pick out threads. His hands and his fingertips can detect the smallest flaws in construction. They tell him when a seam is too thick or uneven. He may shuffle, but he is spry, like an imp or a tailoring fairy or something. You know, it's nice to hear an old man who likes to giggle. I like Bill. And I like learning to sew. I like how one can take all the scraps and stitch them together so they make sense. That the fragments somehow make a whole. Every piece has its place, and maybe so does every moment in life, no matter how dark or sad. When I asked Bill if he would let me be his apprentice, he tried to talk me out of it. He says, "Well, what are you going to do? Why do you want to be an apprentice? No one wants to be a tailor anymore. What you should do is go to fashion school and become a designer." He's kind of right. If you look around the shop, the proof is there. The youngest tailor among them, the youthfully named Laddie, is 69 years old. Bill's family wants him to retire, and taking on a 37-year-old apprentice is not exactly a brilliant idea. A coat maker requires 4 to 7 years to be fully competent. The legendary Frederick Schulte of London, tailor of the Duke of Windsor between 1919 and 1959, wouldn't let a trainee touch a coat without 10 years of apprenticeship experience. My apprenticeship is a race against time. Bill could be 95 before I will be ready. The day I asked Bill if I could be his apprentice, I was already too late. He was ready to say no, so I said, "Why don't you let me try being an apprentice for just 1 year? See if it'll work out." Then Park, who is a sweet man but won't suffer fools, made his view known. "You sweep the floor first." And I agreed. I sweep floors. I stack magazines in the dressing room. I vacuum. I sort dozens of bolts by quality, color, and pattern. The worst job here in the tailor shop is cleaning the washroom. It is very hard for old men to bend down, and it's been rarely cleaned before I arrived. That first time, as I scrubbed the outside of the toilet bowl, I didn't think about how disgusting it was, or how this job was beneath a person with a graduate degree in architecture. All I could think of was, they needed me.